Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Cobra Essential Toy Review. And today's video we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe celebrating the 30th anniversary action figure review. And today's action figure review we're looking at the Wave 2 of the G.I. Joe Renegades of Duke Squad Leader. Now I got this straight from eBay by purchasing all 4 of the Renegades figures, the Wave 2 figures, for 55 ringgit each. However, it's a bit more pricier compared to the retail pricing in Malaysia for 39 ringgit and 90 cents. And not much of a choice considering that Hasbro Malaysia didn't brought in any of the 30th anniversary figures to Malaysia at all, so I have to resort in getting them in eBay, which is rather disappointing actually. Now, let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging itself. One corner here, we have a nicer artwork, the Renegade style artwork of Duke. Now, despite that it's not as detailed compared to the Wave 1 packaging style, this one is exactly the same artwork style as the Renegades animation, so it's actually quite nice. Here inside the plastic bubble we have Duke there, the figure, and he is given a lot of pistols. Each side of his hand there is holding a pistol each. His tie there is strapped with a pistol, and if that's not enough, there's another pistol here. That's 4 pistols for Duke. He only has, well, 2 arms. He doesn't have 4 arms. Oh wow. Next to him is a gas mask. On the other side is a assault rifle. At the back of the figure is a base stand. And behind the base stand is the catalog all folded up, showcasing the Pursuit of Cobra of Wave 1 and Wave 2 figures for a 30th anniversary theme. Because Hasbro decided, they printed way too many catalogs, they might as well use them, and they're not gonna waste money on the, wasted catalogs. At the back portion of the packaging itself, we got a nice full body artwork of the Renegades Duke. Here we have the whole lineup for Wave 1 and Wave 2 figures. Wave 1 we have Sergeant Stalker, Steel Brigade, Cobra Trooper, Iron Grenadier, Cobra Viper, and Hazard Viper. Wave 2 figures featuring all the Renegades figures, Duke, Snake Eyes, and Cobra Commander, except for Firefly. Now at the bottom section of the packaging itself we have the profile card, and at the top section there stated codename Duke Squad Leader, name Conrad S. Hauser, birthplace St. Louis, Missouri, grade First Sergeant. Here we got a nice image of Duke with a G.I. Joe logo stamp on above him. Now here's the interesting part with his equipment. Primary weapon, concussion missile launcher. Does anyone see a missile launcher? Combat gear, we have grappling pack with grappling line. Again, do you see such accessory? Never mind that. Plasma pulse rifle. This is the same plasma pulse rifle that were shown in the Renegades animation. However, this in this packaging does not have the plasma pulse rifle, but replaced with assault rifle instead. Plasma pulse pistols, which is correct, he has 4 of them, and a gas mask. Now at the bottom, smaller write-up stated there, as I pull the packaging closer, Duke is a natural leader who is driven to do what is right, no matter what it may cost him. He is committed to uncovering the evil truth about Cobra Industries so that he and the other Renegades can clear their names. A born soldier, he earns the respect and loyalty of the others through his heroic actions. Very nice. So without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after the figure and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Now let's take a look at Duke's accessories, starting off with the base stand. Now Duke comes with a nice little G.I. Joe base stand that's based on the 25th anniversary style. You got a nice G.I. Joe logo on the top with 2 pegs for the figure to stand on. Nameplate there stated as Duke, and at the back portion, bottom section there stated at 2007 Hasbro made in China. Now Duke here comes with a decent amount of accessories, but there are several problems. One, is missing the concussion missile launcher as indicated at the back of the packaging. 2, he's also missing the grappling pack with grappling line. 3, he's also missing the plasma pulse rifle, the one that shown in the Renegades animation and also in the JoeCon 2011, but replaced with this assault rifle instead. This assault rifle is made of a dark gray plastic material color, and the mold is nothing new. It's actually from the Rise of Cobra Agent Helix weapon. Now, it does not even remotely resemble the plasma pulse rifle as shown in the Renegades animation, or even to the prototype pictures from JoeCon 2011. So it's rather disappointing. However, he can hold this weapon quite well. There's also another problem. He's given with 4 pistols. I'm not too sure why Hasbro thought giving Duke here 4 pistols is such a good idea. But only 1 pistol can be stored onto Duke's body. The rest of the pistol can't be stored onto Duke's body. He can hold it by hand. Because one of the pistol actually has a peg here to plug it onto the right side of the figure's thigh. As you can see there. Now, since there are 2 types of pistol, because there are other 3 pistols, that is the same mold, and the 4th one with the peg is just slightly different. As you can see, there's not much of details onto the pistol's mold here. There's no trigger even. There is a very tiny little trigger, but it's not really that well done, and the details are not really well done as well, because there's very little amount of details being applied onto the pistol itself. Now, since these pistols are not painted at all, they are actually used 2 types of different plastic material color. One would be the dark gray, and the other one is slightly in bluish color. So I'm not too sure why 2 different types of colors being applied onto the pistols. Now, what's funny about the pistols itself is that even Duke can't even hold them properly at all. As you can see, the handle is a bit too thin, or the hand is a bit too widen up, as you can see here. That's for the right hand. Even the left hand here, barely able to hold it. He can still hold it, but it's still very loose, as you can see here. So that's rather disappointing. Then he comes with a gas mask. The gas mask made of a black plastic material color with a clear translucent layer onto it. And why would Hasbro give this guy with a gas mask, since he didn't even use this gas mask in any of the Renegades animation? It just boggles my mind when I think about it. Then he's given with a vest. Now the vest here is a new mold made of a very light green plastic material color, and this actually entirely painted. I'm sorry about that, it just fell from my hand. The entire thing is actually painted. As you can see, there's a lot of brown stains all over, making it look very dirty. Straps are painted in green as well, so does the collar there. Side is painted in green. Belt at the back is painted in brown with a little bit dirt there, so does the 2 pouches at the back. The figure can actually wear the vest quite easily, but you still need to pop the head off. Now, what's funny about the vest itself is that it is a little bit it bears similarity to the animation itself, just a little bit. Still, there's some recognizable aspect to the accessory there, and that's about it with the accessory. It's rather disappointing. First, you're giving the figure with so many pistols that he can't store all of them. Second, you're giving him a rifle that is does not look anything like in the animation or in JoeCon. Why are you even giving him a gas mask? It's just beyond me. At least the vest is something new there. Next, we take a look at Duke's paint job, and by God, the paint job here, the colors are rather horrible looking actually. Now, if you're not a fan of Renegades animation, this figure may not bother you, but I am a fan of the Renegades animation, despite how bad people say. Now, first off, the colors here. What's wrong with the colors? well, let's see which parts is painted and not painted. That's not the problem. We'll discuss about the type of colors being applied onto the figure later on. Now, as you can see, the torso and the lower waist here, the dark gray section there is not painted. That's pure plastic material color. However, the crotch area is painted in green, and the neck portion has been painted with a flesh tone, well, paint job. As you can see there, not very clean paint job, because some portion of the, well, the colors managed to bleed onto the neck itself, or onto the, well, the collar itself as well. The short sleeve here, as you can see, the flesh tone skin there is not painted. That's pure, well, plastic material color. So the sleeve, the short sleeve there is actually painted in dark gray. Lower arms there is not painted at all. That's pure plastic material color. However, on one section here is painted in black, because there's a bit of molding of wash there, but they didn't even bother to paint, well, a bit of silver paint job onto the watch itself. They painted the entire watch in black, which is kind of funny actually. So the entire hand here is made of a, well, dull green plastic material color. So the fingers are all painted in flesh tones, well, flesh tone colors. Now the thigh section that is not painted at all. It's made of a, well, dull green plastic material color. Pouches here is painted in very light wood brown. Kneecaps here is not painted at all, because that's a separate part of the figure itself. I wouldn't call it as an accessory. So yes, it's not painted at all. It's made of a grey plastic material color. The lower section of the legs is also not painted at all. And then for the boots itself, as you can see, the boots is made of a dark brown plastic material color, but painted with wood brown on the top. Then for the head itself, the entire flesh tone skin on the head is not painted at all, but the hair, eyebrows is painted, and so does the eyes. Now when you look at the eyes itself, he's like staring at your soul. Why does he have such an eye-piercing gaze looking at you? It's like he's having a seizure or something. Why, Hasbro, do you why do you have to paint his eyes to look like that? It's just beyond me. However, the back of the head itself is quite nicely done with the details. As you can see, there's a lot of lines there painted in sort of reddish brown there. Very nice. Now, there's a problem with the paint job for this figure, because it does not bear any resemblance to, well, to the Renegades version. The pants color is incorrect. The sleeve color is also incorrect, except for the lower section there. But you'll get my meaning there when you see it. Very different in colors. Even the shoes that he's wearing, the colors are also incorrect. And so does the gloves as well. So, Hasbro, why do you paint Duke totally opposite to the Renegades version? I thought this figure is supposed to be a Renegades Duke. Now he's a completely different, well, figure. Now enough of the paint job, let's take a look at the figure's mold. Surprisingly enough, majority of the mold is actually new stuff, except for two parts. Three, if you count the kneecaps. The kneecaps and the thighs are actually from the Pursuit of Cobra Desert Battle Snake Eyes. Except they removed the holster on the other side, so leaving on the other side of the thigh there with a huge empty slot, which looks pretty ugly, because this slot here is meant to plug in the pistol like so. So yes, majority of parts are actually new stuff. Got new torso, new waist, new arms, lower legs, boots, and of course the head sculpt. And the head sculpt bears nothing resemblance to the Renegades Duke here, as you can see, because Duke in the Renegades animation is supposed to be a young man, probably in his 20s. The sculpt here looks like he's in his 30s or so. It looks like a middle-aged man. So the sculpt there is nothing at all, nothing similar at all to the Renegades animation. I have to admit, the sculpt is actually pretty detailed, especially with the back portion of the hair itself, the face sculpt. The eyes are a little bit weird because thanks to the piercing gaze there due to the paint job, but this face sculpt is actually quite detailed, but he looks pretty old. For the torso, there's nothing much. There's a bit of wrinkles going on, but nothing really spectacular. But why is his lower arm so skinny and frail looking? Even in the Renegades animation, the lower arms is not that frail looking. He actually has a thick pair of arms there, but well, not as thick as Heavy Duty or Roadblock. But you get my meaning there. His arms is like he has been starving himself for months. Either that or a crack addict. Very weird. Why, Hasbro? But the lower legs there, the sculpt of the lower legs is actually quite nicely done. Well, it's just lower legs of the pants itself. Now let's take a look at the figure's articulation. Now, thanks to the neck joint, because due to the mold itself, the neck is angled downwards. So you have to tilt the head all the way up for him to look forward. So you cannot tilt the head upwards. This is as high as it can go, so we can tilt the head down, side to side a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. Torso here, barely able to move forward, but can move back a little bit, go side to side, and turn 360 degrees. Now shoulder joints here can turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this high. Elbow joint here can bend this far, back, and turn 360 degrees. Now what's funny about this figure is that it also includes the nail joints for the wrist itself. Now first of all, we have a swivel wrist joint that turns 360 degrees, goes downwards and upwards. Very nice. The other side, swivel 360 degrees for the wrist joint and goes outwards and inwards. Then we have the hip joints down that move forward, back a little bit, and to the side. Double jointed knee that bends pretty far actually. Pretty impressive, as you can see there. Of course, the kneecap is at pain sometimes because it tends to fall off from the kneecap quite often. And then we have the ankle joint there that pivots downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. And there's also one final thing that I also wanted to include, is that his one side of the leg, the right side of the leg, is longer than the other one, if you notice that. So yes, he can't stand straight, he has to tilt on one side or actually fall off. As you can see there, he cannot even stand properly unless you adjust the leg and making his one leg, well, spread on the other side. Now let's fully equip Duke with all the accessories there. As you can see, the ball joint on the neck there looks kind of weird because it's rather long, and well, I'm not too sure why they designed it this way. It's like I'm not too sure why they designed it that way. It looks like snow cones. Ice cream snow cones for some reason. This is by far the most disappointing Duke figure I ever have. I thought in the JoeCon, well, pictures that were shown in JoeCon, of course, were quite decent looking, but when you actually got the figure on hand, well, with the full gear on, he still looks alright, but still disappointing because he does not bear any resemblance to the animation at all. He looks way too old for his face, way too old, and given with, I don't know, wrong kinds of accessories, too many pistols, wrong kind of paint job applied onto it, way too skinny, frail lower arms, it's just way too disappointing. If you're not a fan of the Renegades animation, this figure is actually alright. But I'm a fan of the Renegades, so this figure does not look anything like the Renegades Duke. So I'm gonna give two types of rating, of course. First, to those non-Renegades fans, the figure is actually not bad. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, yes? because I am still not pleased with the lower arms there. One side leg is longer than the other one, and the accessories are really not that impressive, so 6 out of 10 there. Plus the fact that eyes is really weird. But as a Renegade fan, this is so disappointing. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Yes, a 4 out of 10. Despite it has new joints, still not gonna impress me because due to the, well, it doesn't look anything like the Renegades Duke in animation. So yes, 4 out of 10 for the Renegades Duke. I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.